Hi, I'm Eddie from NewSong Winter Jam, and this is The Christian Beat.
Well, Eddie, so happy to have you. Thanks for joining us here on The Christian Beat. Always a pleasure to have you.
Glad to be here.
It's October, which means anticipation is building for this year's Winter Jam, and everyone wants to know who's in the lineup this year. What can you tell us?
Well, the lineup is, I think, amazingly fresh and great. Some different things we're doing this year with it. I love that we have one big one up off the top to me. I love that we have Louis Giglio is going to be out with us half the tour speaking, which is awesome. We didn't have any idea if he could do it. He pastors a church. He has a lot of things going on, but he wanted to do it. So obviously Crowder and him are big buddies. And that helped a little bit, I think, by getting Louis out there. But so that's one of the big things. But Crowder is going to be there too. So Crowder and Louis will be there. Passion Band's going to be there when Louis is out, and when Louis is not there, Hillsong Young and Free will be there. So I think it's 2 weeks and 2 weeks. It's going to go back and forth, which is really exciting. Never done anything quite like that before. Have some different people, different cities. We're going to do that to make that work for Louis and make it work for those guys to be able to come from Australia and all the different things. So that's awesome. And then the lineup is awesome. We've got I need to look at the list myself, but Riley Clemens, I know we just added. The last person we added was Riley Clemens, which I'm very excited about. Austin French is going to be there. Andy Mineo is going to be there. I love Andy Mineo. Awesome. He's going to be there. I know there's people. NewSong's going to be there.
Of course.
How many are we up to now? We're getting close.
I was going to say.
Oh, Building 429. We just added them too. So we've got quite a lineup. I'm still leaving somebody out. Who am I leaving out yet? Maybe so. I don't know. That's getting close, but the lineup's really awesome.
Sounds like
I can't wait to let everybody know. Everybody that we've told about it has been very excited about it, and the uniqueness of it, and also just the great artists that are going to be there. So, good thing. And Red is going to be. The Red's going to be the rock and roll band this year, which I knew I was leaving somebody out.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I love those guys. I haven't had them in about 3 years, I guess. So,
great.
Looking towards that night, how much do you try to prepare to keep continuity between all of the different acts? Because there's such a variety that's there. Versus how much do you let them kind of craft their own portion of the night?
What they do is kind of what they do. I mean, we obviously, have some things we're trying to accomplish. Obviously, we tell them we've already arranged when they're going to play. They know now they're playing what are the nights. They can be thinking, okay, if I'm there, what do I want to do? Maybe a little different what I would do if I was first or if I was last or wherever they might fall in there. So, but besides that, we're pretty much, and we know these artists really well. So we just want them to bring their A game, do everything they know to do a great job, whatever God's put on their heart to do, songs to sing, and anything they want to bring with them that'll make it even bigger and better or surprising. We're all for that too. We're all for just being amazing.
What kind of preparations have to take place between now and January when the first show kind of sets off?
For me, not much. But it started off, it was kind of me at the very beginning when we started this thing 20-something years ago, me and another couple of people. But now there's great people that are working on all these different areas, and we have guys working on been working on for months what it was going to look like, how we're going to stage it. If you go, as we change it around a good little bit every year, most every year. And so all those things have been worked on already, and trying to get all that in line. And obviously got to let the artists then know what's going on with that, so they can try to decide what they want to do in their set. Here's what we're having for you. What can you do with that? What do you want to bring to add to that possibly? So a lot of work's going on. A lot of work's going on just booking those artists. It was easy for me to tell you who they were, but they spent months getting all that done, and getting everybody's contracts done, and everybody be happy with their spot where they're going to be in the lineup, and just be happy. This is a good year for them to do it. Some people they've been before, and I said, hey, let's do it again in maybe 2 or 3 years or whatever, and like Crowder, and so this was just their time. So a lot of work's been going on, a lot of things going on. Thankfully, I don't have to do a lot of that stuff, so I'm glad. but there's a lot of moving parts, so it's not an easy thing.
You've been building the legacy of this tour over the past 20-25 years so far. So looking back on that, what are some of the big moments that stand out to you? That maybe not in the moment, but now that you've had that time to reflect.
Well, I always think about the first one, and it wasn't called Winter Jam; it was just called Concert. But we would go to back then, 20-something years ago, Christian bookstores and concerts kind of went together. That was your big promotion. You had the radio station and you had the Christian bookstore. So normally, if you could, you or many artists you could take with you if you had more than one artist on the tour, would go to the Christian bookstore and they would advertise that. Don't miss the concert, but also come by and meet them in person at our bookstore. And then you would go that night and we'd cross our publicity. So when you go to the Christian bookstore, you would hear people saying, "Hey, you're our favorite band. When you come on, we turn the radio up. We love your songs, and we just bought your new cassette, or whatever it was at that point, and we can't wait to hear it." Well, you say, well, and you always kind of wonder this if you're traveling around, because you can kind of put yourself there. Where have you been to see us? Because you want to kind of know where they've been. Oh, we've never seen you before. We can't afford it. There's 5 of us, and one of these days we're going to get there though. But boy, we love your music, and man, we're praying for you. And so the kind of idea came. I thought, well, I wonder if people would come to a Christian concert if money wasn't an issue. Back then, they were not really that big. Christian concerts were. I mean, an Amy Grant concert would be pretty big. So there was a few people that could do a rather big concert, but still not huge like we've seen. And so I rented this building that seats 6,500 people, which back then was like us renting Mercedes-Benz Dome here. I mean, it was because we've been playing churches or real small things. So we rented that, and we charged $3 at the door to see how many people would come. We had to turn away just throngs of people. I'll say thousands, but maybe definitely hundreds of people we had to turn away. And that kind of started that idea of doing it. We let everybody in real cheap, packed the building out, had a great time. It was mostly just NewSong's at a concert. We shared the gospel, which has always been every Winter Jam concert. It's been a share the gospel. We shared the gospel. Tried in that setting to have counseling, which doesn't work real well in that setting, but did all the things we could do. So next year we did it again. So maybe it was a fluke. Let's do it again. So the next year was the same thing, and we started adding a city. And it's always been one thing. It's always been about is trying to make it so everybody can afford to come, and also making sure we share the gospel. I feel like it was always a part of what NewSong's done, whether it was at Winter Jam or where we were. So that's our thing. We want to make sure happens every night. So it's been exciting to see what's happened. It's progressing, and we got real brave and got a real big building, and just kept gradually taking little pieces. It wasn't 2 or 3 years of this and then the big thing. Just thing after thing. We were playing the Georgia Dome for a while, which was amazing. That was one of the best nights because it would seat 60 or 70,000 people, and nobody ever had to worry about getting turned away or anything like that. And so you'd have 30-something thousand people at the Georgia Dome, just crazy stuff. And they tore it down. So now it's a Mercedes-Benz Dome, and somebody else owns it, and they don't want us to use it. So they want us to use it, but I think they want us to buy the building.
Sure. Looking forward to the next 20 or 25 years for Winter Jam, what is kind of your continued hope and dreams as it continues to evolve?
Well, I don't know. So obviously we want to keep trying to be innovative with it and just see what God's going to do. We've done some things a lot the same, and a few things we've changed along the way, and some kind of fresh things. Like I said already, this year we're trying to do some other things too, besides just in the lineup. But just try to keep it fresh and see where God's leading us to do it, and how long He wants it to go. I don't know, but I've got a lot of great people working on it that want to make it happen, and want to see the people come out, and love to see people, like Louis and different ones speak and see that God touch their hearts and enjoy them. All those things, it's exciting to see it happen. So good things are ahead, I believe.
One of those innovative ideas or items that you did last year was that 360-degree stage. How was that for you guys that got to be on the stage and see all of the folks around you, and how was that reaction?
It was fun, and it was fun. It was different, but after just a few nights, everybody it feels right to you. Now this is what you've been doing all your life. You feel like because after a few nights of it, so after a little bit, you really felt comfortable doing it and understood where to look. So you wouldn't just look at one little crowd and miss everybody else, and also the people doing it, because we had as a group we'd never done that. Mm-hmm. So I'm talking the whole crew and everybody, even though they'd rehearsed several days, and everybody, it was a learning curve a little bit for us. I don't know if anybody knew who was learning, but it was a lot of fun. And it was different. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, people were sitting places they didn't normally sit. For 20-something years, nobody ever sat right there. And now there are people right there. and people where they normally would be, there's nobody there. So it was just a little odd, but once you got going, it was really fun, and I think people got a little more up close. A lot of people did than they'd ever been before. So it was fun.
This year with the lineup, what do you think the kind of behind the scenes feel is going to be like with all the acts and artists kind of interacting with each other?
Hopefully good. Hopefully good. You know, all those guys, there's no strain. Well, we've never done Hillsong Young and Free before, but everybody else we've done something with. So we, know each other pretty well. It's not going to be a brand new getting to know you type thing. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. We play a lot of ping pong and do a lot of things backstage and wear everybody down and become buddies. After a little bit. So some people almost miss their set. Their ping pong game's not over and they're being introduced. After you get, not the first few nights. First few nights you're concerned about your set, but after it gets going, it gets that way just a little bit. But I think it'll be great. Louis been out, not on tour with us, but he's come out a few nights and hung out with us before when Crowder was out. And I say he came a couple of times to the Georgia Dome. We were doing it at the Georgia Dome and got up and spoke for a few minutes. It's not brand new for him to be around, but he's never actually been on the program.
Sure.
So I think it'd be great.
Winter Jam has kind of made a history of those artists that sometimes come in are the opening acts, and sometimes a few years later they're back as kind of the headliners. What is your hope and kind of aspiration for some of the artists this year that they'll kind of get to that exposure?
Yeah, I love that part of it. I sometimes, when you first start that, when the night starts at 6 o'clock or whatever that night times will be, when the pre-jam party starts, sometimes I'll try to give a little pep talk to the crowd. Now, look, don't just think these are people I never heard of them. I'm not going to pay attention, or I'm going to go look at all the artist stuff. I said, because 5 years ago, or it's longer than that now, but the first lights up person was Francesca Battistelli, and the first lights up person another year was for King and Country. And I remember I introduced for King and Country, and I said, hey, because I knew them through the years, I knew Rebecca. I said, hey, this is Rebecca St. James Brothers, and they've got this, they call it for King and Country. And after they got set, Joel said, hey, let's don't say anything about Rebecca anymore. I said, okay. So, yeah, and when I introduced, when Francesca got introduced in Orlando, it started there for some reason. We're down there, and for some reason we weren't quite ready that first night. She got introduced fine. I did a great job of introducing her. The crew wasn't ready. So you think about little things like that, because you think where God took them from that to where they are, and sometimes that little awkward starts, and being the very first thing, is a big deal. So.
Absolutely.
How was some of you mentioned you had interacted with most of the artists on this year's Winter Jam before. How did some of those interactions kind of influence how you wanted to be on the group, or how much you want to help to promote them as well?
I think we don't really have anybody I can think of. I mean, somebody might was here to think somebody, but pretty much everybody we've had out we've gotten along with pretty well. In some years you say, I don't know what it was this year about Brian, but he's been fun in the past. We've had him out. I think he's just going through, and then maybe the next time you have him out, nothing bad ever. We've never had any big arguments or any big showdowns backstage or anything. Sometimes people are more preoccupied with something they've got going on, not quite as available as maybe they were the last tour, but never anything bad. I can't think of anything really awkward, or this guy's so rude he won't hang out with us, or whatever. Pretty much everybody's got their own. Once you find out what they like, you can kind of you can have a good time with them. And some are a little more recluse than others, but overall everybody's fun and friendly. We have Jam Church. Quite a few people go to church together, and so you get a few of those kind of things going. We all eat dinner and lunch together, so it's kind of hard not to be friendly.
Last question for you. You guys have certainly traveled all over with this tours and the other tours with NewSong. Are there any cities this year that you're kind of really looking forward to getting back to?
Wow, there's so many. I just love it. This already city. Every now and then they'll say, hey, guess what? We're not going to get to play so-and-so this year. The Rowdy won't let us. I think, but skip that. I like that because of, there's some reason you like that city, especially like that city. So I think we're hitting most of every one of them. I think there's one or two we're not going to get to go back to this year because of routing, because of trying to make everything work out. But something about every one of them you really like. You like that. You like that town. You like this. You have a great memory from different ones, and so you kind of fall in love with the towns. I'll be watching something on television. I almost feel like, hey, this is. Why do you care about that? You live in Tennessee. Well, we go there on Winter Jam, and I like those people. So it's that kind of thing. You kind of fall in love with the town and the people there. So it's fun.
Well, we so appreciate you taking time to hang out with us today.
Thank you.
Everyone's looking forward to Winter Jam. I know it's going to be another
It's
great year.
going to be great.
Can't wait.
Lord willing, it's going to be awesome.